Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, What Python is. In this lecture, I'm going to define what Python programming language is. I will talk briefly about the history of this programming language. Also, I will highlight the most important features of Python programming language. I will mention some of job roles that benefit from Python. I will answer this question, why you have to learn this programming language. Finally, I will show you some of companies that use this Python programming language. As usual, I will end this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. So, what's Python? Python is a high-level programming language which is designed to be highly readable, where it uses English keywords frequently. I said here it's high-level because we have to use English keywords in order to write a program, and we don't use directly the machine language, in other words, the binary language. Python is an interpreted programming language, and from interpreted word here we can understand that the translator type in case of Python is an interpreter and it's not a compiler. Also, Python supports object-oriented programming and scripting programming. OOP is a new style of programming where we define our program as a set of abstract classes representing abstract concepts in our life, whereas scripting is the old style in which we write our program in a free style without any kind of abstraction. Now let's talk a little bit about history. When we talk about Python, we have to talk about Guido van Rossum, who is the developer of Python programming language, this man in this picture. This programming language has been developed in the late 18th and early 19th at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. This programming language is considered relatively new comparing to other older programming language like C and C++, for example. When you start to learn a new programming language, you have to learn what the features of this programming language are. Now I am going to share with you the most important features of Python. Number 1. Python is very easy to learn, where it uses English keywords frequently, and in some places when you write your code in Python, you will feel that you write in English, not in a programming language. Python is a dynamic data typed programming language, and this means when you want to define a new data value, you don't have to specify the type of this value. Just define the value, and the interpreter later on will take the responsibility to determine the data type from the data value itself. Python is a portable programming language, so if you write your program in a Windows platform, for example, simply you can take this program and run it on a Linux or Mac platform with almost no change. Python is an extensible programming language, and this feature is quite important since it allows us to write an interface to other programs written in other programming language like C++, so we can take the benefit of the speed of C++, for example. The last feature I want to share with you is that Python is a free and open source programming language, so you don't have to pay if you want to use this language. Its built-in libraries or any of its third-party developed and published online libraries. So, who uses Python? Currently, if you are one of the following, or if you are planning to be one of the following: data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer or researcher, deep learning engineer or researcher, web developer, software developer, or other, Python is a great tool to be used during your job to make your life easier, and it's a very great skill to shine up in your CV. The big question now, why do I have to learn Python programming language? According to Indeed, one of the biggest recruitment companies in the world, in January 2020, Python has the highest number of job openings in United States of America, around 74,000 job opening. Also, a Python developer salary is one of the top 30 salaries of developer in USA, around $120,000 per year, as you can see from this bar chart. Keep in mind also that today is the era of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, in which Python is considered the programming language #1 in the world to be used in these fields. So I guess high demands and high salaries are more than enough reasons to start your journey to learn Python from today. Now let's take a look about companies that use Python. Nowadays, there are a lot of companies use Python as a programming language. When I say they use Python, I mean they use Python as one of the programming languages used in these companies, not the only one. From these companies we have Google, Spotify, Facebook, Dropbox, Quora, Instagram, Netflix, and others. So, before I end this lecture, let me summarize what we have learned. First of all, I defined what Python is, and we see it's a high-level and interpreted programming language. We talked a little bit about the history, and we see that Python has been developed by Guido van Rossum. I highlighted a lot of Python features, including easy to learn, dynamic data type, and other. I mentioned some of job roles where Python programming language can be used, including data scientist, software engineer, and other. Also, I mentioned the most important reason about why you have to learn Python, and keep in mind that the two main reasons are high demands and high salaries. Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to learn how to get Python installed on our computer. In order to use Python, you have to download and install two things. Number one, Python package. Number two, PyCharm IDE. So let's get started. First of all, I will open Google Chrome. You can use any internet browsers, it's not a problem. I will go to python.org. Once the page is loaded, I will choose download, then I will click on Windows. I will scroll down to find the executable file. In this course, we are going to use Python 3.6. That's it. So I will select Windows x86 64 executable installer. If you use a machine with 32-bit only, you have to select the one with x86 only. Once it's downloaded, you can open it from the browser, or you can go to the directory and open this file. First of all, you have to select this option, add Python 3.6 to the path, then select install now. This will install Python in your machine. Click on close right now, the setup was successful. Now to make sure that everything went okay, go to start menu, select command prompt, open, and here you have to say Python -- version. Then click enter. If you find Python 3.6.8, this means that Python was successfully installed in your machine and you are ready to use Python. If you type Python, this will open Python interpreter in the command prompt. So you can type here some Python command if you want to try. Ctrl Z will exit from this interpreter. Now let's install PyCharm. Again, I will open the internet browser. I will type JetBrains PyCharm. JetBrains is the company that developed PyCharm. I will go to download page. You can find that I have two versions, professional and community. I will select community version because it's free and you don't have to pay anything to use. Once the file is downloaded, go to the downloads folder and open the file. Now select next. Here, again next, select this option, which is create desktop shortcut, and also add launcher directory to path, add open folder, and create association, and then next, install. Installing will start directly. Once it's completed, it will ask you to reboot your device or not, so you can choose to reboot later on, it's not a problem. Finish, and then you will find PyCharm on your desktop. Double click to open the program. Here, if you have already installed this, so we don't have anything installed, so I will continue. Here, I will choose which theme I want to use. So I want dark theme or light theme, it's up to you. In my case, I will choose light, for example. Then next. After I select next here, I will choose if I want to add any plugin to this environment. So now I don't want to add anything. I will select start using PyCharm. This will take some time until it loads the program for the first time, and that's it. Thank you very much for your time and see you again later. Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we are going to learn how to get Python installed on Linux. I'm using Linux Ubuntu, so let's get started. In order to use Python, we have to install Python and an IDE. I choose in this case PyCharm. Let's open the terminal, Ctrl-Alt-T, and then to install Python you have to type sudo apt-get install Python 3 and enter. Make sure to type 3, otherwise Python 2.7 is going to be installed. Now you have to enter the password of your user and make sure you should have root access. Once it's done, just type Python 3, enter, and as you see here, Python 3.8 is ready and installed in your platform. Now let's see how we can get PyCharm. I will open Firefox. I will search for JetBrains PyCharm. JetBrains is the company that developed PyCharm. I will go to download page. Then under Linux, I will find that there are two versions of this. We have professional version and community version. I will choose community. It's free and you don't have to pay anything to use. Download. Once the file is downloaded, I will see this message. Thank you for downloading PyCharm. Here it asks me if I want to save the compressed file. Yes, I want to save. Then I will go to Downloads folder to view that file. As you see, it's a compressed folder, so I will extract the content. Once it's extracted, I will open that folder, and you will find multiple folders and files here. The one that I care about is under bin folder. You will find a file, it's named pycharm.sh. This file has the script that will install PyCharm in your platform. So to install, I will open the terminal. Now I have to navigate to the folder in which I download the file. So I will say cd downloads. Then I will show the file available here. So I will use ls. Then I will change the directory to this one, PyCharm community. Again, I will choose ls to view the available files. Now I will change the directory to bin, cd bin. Then I will use ls to view the available files, and here it is. I want to use pycharm.sh, so to run this script I will say /pycharm.sh, enter. This will install PyCharm on my computer. I will wait a little bit. Once it's installed, it will ask me to accept the privacy policy, so I will select this and then continue. Here it asks me if I want to share some data from my environment, so I will say don't send. Now here I have to select the theme that I want to use, and it's up to you what theme you would like. Dracula, which is dark, or light. In my case I will select light, and then I will go to next. Here I will select this option, create a script for opening files and projects from the command line. Then next, in this window here you can select if you want to add some plugins to your environment, but in my case I don't want to add anything, and just I will select start using PyCharm. Here it will ask me for my password. I will type this password and then authenticate, and that's it. We are ready to go. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next. Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to learn how to get Python installed on Mac OS X. So let's get started. In order to use Python, you have to install two things. Number one, Python package. Number two, PyCharm ID. So let's get started. I will open Safari internet browser. Then I will go to python.org, which is the official website of Python. Once the page is loaded, I will select Downloads. Then I will select Mac OS X. Now I will scroll down to find the version that I want to use. In this course, I want to use Python 3.6. And that's it. I will select Mac OS 64-bit, 32-bit installer. I will download this file. Once it's downloaded, you will find it in the downloaded files folder. I already have one, so I will open it. Now I will select continue, continue again, software license agreement if you want to read, then continue, and here I will select agree and install. Here the OS asks me about my password to install this, so I will enter my user password. And now the installer completed successfully, so I will select close. After that, it asks me if I want to remove the installer file to the trash. It's up to you, you can keep or move to trash. Now to make sure that we install Python 3.6 correctly, I will open Applications. Now within Applications, I will look for Python, and as you see here, I find Python 3.6. Also, to double check that Python is available, I will go to the terminal now. Once I open the terminal, I will say Python --version, and this shows me the current version of Python. It's 2.7, but I already installed 3.6. Don't worry, this is by default installed in Mac OS. So if you want to see your own version of Python that you already installed right now, just say Python 3 --version. And as you see now, it's 3.6.8. Now let's install PyCharm. I will go to Safari again. I will enter JetBrains PyCharm. So JetBrains is the company that developed PyCharm. Once it's loaded, I will select download. As you see, by default, Mac is selected, and you can see that I have two versions, Professional and Community. So I will download Community one, which is free. You don't have to pay anything to use. Once it's downloaded, I will open the downloaded file. And now it starts installing. The first thing is verifying. That's it. Now the OS asks me to drag all the files related to PyCharm into application folder. So I will do that. So just drag and drop inside applications. Now it's ready. Let me open PyCharm. I will select yes, open. Here it asks me to accept the privacy policy, so I will accept it and continue. Here it asks me if I want to share some data about the performance, so I will choose don't send anything. And now PyCharm starts loading. When you open it for the first time, PyCharm asks you about some settings, so you can choose a new setting, which means for the first time, or you can select your own settings if you used PyCharm before. In this case, I will say I have never used PyCharm. Then next, UI themes. Now you have to select the theme that you want to use, whether you want dark theme or light theme, it's up to you. So I will select light, for example, and I will say next. Here I will select the option create a script for opening files and projects from the command line, then next. Here it's up to you if you want to add some plugins to your environment. Now I don't want to add anything, so I will select start using PyCharm. For the first time, it will ask me about my password, so I will enter my user password. Okay. And that's it. We are ready. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next.
Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, Run the First Program in Python. In this lecture, you will learn how to create a project using PyCharm. Also, you will write your first program, which will display a message on the screen. This message will be hello world. Finally, the lecture summary, which will summarize everything you will learn in this lecture. When you open PyCharm, you will see a window like this. To create a new project, go to File, select New Project. From this box here, you have to select the directory in which you want to save the project files. Open. In my case, I will select desktop. In desktop, I will choose Python course. I will select OK. Then create. I will choose this window. And I will wait a little bit until the project is created. Once the project is created, you will find here in this area your project files. Now we don't have anything except the virtual environment of that project. We will talk about this later on. Right-click here, select New, and then select Python file. In this way, we will create a file in order to write our Python code. Give this file a name, for example temp. Enter. This will open a new file for you, and this file is empty. You can write whatever you want to write here. Now, I want to display a message on the screen. In order to do that, I will use a function. Its name print. Print, it's a function in Python. It's built in. Directly you can use it, which will display a message on the screen. And I will say hello world. To run this script, right-click and select Run Temp. This will run this code, and directly you will see this message here, hello world. If you do all of these steps without any problem, this means that you correctly installed Python and PyCharm IDE, and you are ready to start your journey with Python programming language. Now let's recap what we have learned in this lecture. First, you have learned how to create a new project using PyCharm. Second, we write our first program in Python, which displays a message on the screen. And that's all for this lecture. Please refer to the PDF file, Run the First Program in Python Challenges, in which you will find some challenges to practice what you have learned. Thank you very much for attending this lecture, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.